Tour time!
Good morning.
Good morning. So, what are we doing today?
We are going to do a tour of the farm.
We are, finally. So we're going to do it just
as we harvest and go through the stuff today because we're so busy and we got to get stuff done.
And people are asking for a tour and we're both so tired today. I know, mosquitoes are bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in number 2. Just give you a quick boo. I know, we have been so busy around here trying to get caught up and everything. Yesterday, Haley dropped and leaned the cucumber house, which we'll show you in a bit, and I started in here, but it just gets so warm, eh?
It's hot.
It's very hot. Today we have a little bit of a break. It's a little cooler. So yesterday, Shane harvested 12 4-liter baskets of cherry tomatoes, and this is the 4-liter baskets that I'm talking about. He harvested 12 of those. He only picked the super ripe tomatoes, and we are going to harvest again today. So these tomatoes produce so fast. Ripen so fast, sorry. So we're going to get picking in this greenhouse, and we'll show you what we get when we're done. And Haley's keeping track of all the cherry tomatoes, cucumbers. What else are you keeping track of?
When our big tomatoes are ready.
Oh, when our big tomatoes are ready. And then we're going to do a weigh-in. Our cucumbers, for instance. So one of these baskets, a 4-liter basket of our pickling cucumbers, weighs about 5.5 pounds. And how many?
And one day we had 130 liters that we sent to market.
160 something, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was 162 or something like that.
So we'll add it up and then divide it by our 4 liters. And
Yeah.
then that'll give us a total weight.
Total weight.
And then the slices we're just doing individual.
Yeah. So maybe we should do a weigh-in next week, just part way, to see what we get off the plants down there.
So far.
Yeah. So anyhow, we'll get on with the tour. So this is greenhouse number 2. This is where our cherry tomatoes grow, and they're doing amazing. These sell. Wayne was sold out in an hour last Saturday, and
wow.
Does that surprise
No.
you? No. We sell out very quick. So this is greenhouse number 2. Cherry tomato house. We're going to get picking and we'll show you what we get. Look at these beautiful indigo cherry drops. So this is what they're like before they're ripe. And this is what they look like when they're fully ripe. And look at the size of them.
I know.
Like,
that's insane.
Where's a big one? Right here. Look at this. Like, that's almost like a small big tomato.
This is what those little ones look like.
Yeah, they're my favorite actually. We don't harvest these little tiny ones because they tend to shrivel up and and almost dry, but we eat them as we pick. Not Haley. Haley doesn't like tomatoes. She's strange.
I'm not a fan.
You're strange, Haley.
So that's why we went around and picked off like the bottom of the trusses just so they wouldn't do that because it takes them forever to harvest or ripen. And that way the ones farther up, but you can leave them on.
Yeah. So, and then I'll bring you down and show you the indigo kumquats. And these are the indigo kumquats, which are similar color to the cherry drops, but these are more of a grape variety. And again, that is what it looks like when it's not ripe. And this is what it looks like when it's ripening. It's got more of a yellow on the bottom and the top. They're beautiful. We mix these in with our yellows, orange, reds, purples, yeah, with our cherry drops and the kumquats, and they sell like crazy.
When we're done picking.
Beautiful. Yeah, we'll show you a picture when we're done picking. Okay, get to it. Okay, in no time at all, we got 8.5, 8 3/4 4-liter baskets full, plus Shane's 12 yesterday, so that's 20 3/4, yeah. So by this afternoon, we only picked like the ripest again, and by this afternoon we'll be able to go back and do pretty much the same thing. Cherry tomatoes are a great crop to grow, to bring to farmers markets or to sell farm gate, whatever you want to do, because they're super easy harvesting, and we charge $4. Yeah, we charge $4 for a pint of these, so We'll show you our plant containers once we bring them all into the garage at the end of the day. But right now we gotta head off to harvest cucumbers and zucchini down in number 3 and beside number 3. So we'll be right back. Okay, change of plans. We are now down in the small little plot here we have growing beside the 2 greenhouses where the high tunnel was, and I'm just going to give you a quick peek. We just figured we'd harvest our radish for market tomorrow. So this is one of our radish beds. We have a lot of weeds in all of our beds. We're trying to catch up on it, and we just don't seem to be able to. So I'm going to give you a quick peek. The radish are actually beautiful radish. So we have our radish here. We have our beans over in this plot. Now this is just a little piece of what we've got growing because we have stuff everywhere. So this whole bed is all beans. And then just beyond that are our cherry shrub bushes, which produce the nice sweet black cherries. And then over yonder are our blueberry fields. We have 2 acres of them, and they go all the way up. Then over here, with weeds again, we've got to get at this, but we have beans growing here as well. And then we've got a few rows of our cabbage, which are doing fine, except they're getting chewed by the moths, but they're coming along. And then our beets and peppers are in there, but I'll show you that after. And then we'll bring you to the other fields. There we go. We just picked 20 bunches of radish in like no time at all. We're going to bring these up to wash them. Tomorrow's a Wednesday market, so we aren't going to bring a ton. But we also need 35 bunches to harvest tomorrow, so we're not going to deplete the whole bed right yet with the big ones. We need 35 for a produce program on Thursday. So now what are we going to do? Go over to, what do we call it?
We just call it bottom 2.
Bottom 2, bottom 1 and bottom 2. We know what we're talking about when we do that. So we're going to go over and pick our beets out of number 1 and 2. See you there. So this is bottom number 1, where we have lots of weeds. Surprise. But we're not too concerned about that. We've pretty much harvested all of our beets out of this center area. But over here we have our Rocky Top determinate tomatoes. So they aren't going to grow super high, but we have to get stringing them up again. And they're producing well. So that's what that is. And then we have our lunchbox peppers, which are doing not bad in this greenhouse. They're starting to produce. So the lunchbox peppers are just actually like a mini, not that small when they're fully grown, but they're a smaller pepper, and these are all different colors. So we have red, yellow, orange, and we do pick some at green stage. And then I'm going to show you back here. This was just a volunteer squash that decided it was going to grow again, and we aren't sure exactly what type of squash it is. We thought it was patty pan at first, but it's not. So we will let you know as soon as we know. It's a beautiful plant. And then in between 1 and 2 down here in the field, we have yellow zucchini growing, which was our last transplant, and they're starting to come on, which is good. Plants are looking healthy. And then we have this row here of our romaine, and we've been harvesting this for program. So they get field romaine, and the other lettuce and greens are from the hydroponic house. And then over here we have more zucchini and patty pans over there. So let's go into number 2. And like I said, this is going to be a quick tour because we have so much to do. So I apologize. Here we have our eggplant, which, I mean, aren't too bad considering we can never grow eggplant. They're starting to set flowers. And we're pretty impressed with them. They go all the way down. And then we have more lunchbox peppers and more volunteer squash growing in amongst our beets and weeds. We aren't going to weed this anymore because what's happening is, this is our beet bed, but what's happening is we're pulling out weeds, but the beets are coming out as well. So the beets are still doing fine. We're done with the weeding. We're going to be done picking down here soon. And then we have more lunchbox peppers. Oh, and on either side, Ethan and Wayne planted cucumbers along both sides. So, I don't know, you can see them over there. So we're just kind of plunking in whatever we feel we have space for. And then we'll bring you up to our watermelon, cantaloupe, and all the other stuff up in the other top field. And then we'll bring you down to this field to show you what we have growing on there as soon as we drive by both. Okay, and we have harvested some beets, which, do you want to show them the bunch? We picked them at smaller stage. Some of them are bigger, but some of them are a little smaller, but people tend to like them. So now, let's head up to the haunt field and show you what we have growing on up there. And remember, we have lots of weeds. It's not bothering us at all. And then I'll show you this field over there after the haunt field. All right, we're in the haunt field, and like I said, we have a lot of weeds. Our carrots, especially in this field, are really super weedy, but we're letting our carrots grow up beyond the weeds to before we pull the weeds, because the weed that is in there looks a lot like carrot tops, so we don't want to be pulling our carrots out. And then we have cukes right down this row. So this is just another bed with zucchini. We're going to have zucchini coming out our ears. We'll wait until you see the zucchini by greenhouse number 3. And then we have more cukes in this row. More cukes in that row. I think these guys just planted these yesterday. These are the cantaloupe, which are coming. It's kind of hard to see, but we don't have time to walk right through, so these are cantaloupe. They go all the way down. These tend to get thicker at the end of the rows for some reason. I don't know if it's the way the sun is on them or not. And then we have our watermelon. We have 2 rows of these planted in this field. And they're long rows. I'm not sure how long they are. We did them in the plastic, and they're also hooked up to drip irrigation. So we have our header here, and it's run off the pond. We have a pump in the pond that runs all these, and they get watered. So they're doing pretty good. These ones are small. The ones back there are doing a lot better. Oh, and Haley's finding more radish in this bed. And again, weeds. Weeds. And a radish. They're nice. We just have to dig through, but we have a little bit more time to dig through weeds than we do to weed again at this time. Oh, you got another bunch. Let's head down and show them the field we call Donnie's field. Only because our neighbor is Donnie. So that's how we
navigate our farm.
Okay, we're in Donnie's field now, and this is where we have rows of, we have beets and radish over there. And again, weeds, but no big deal. And then we have kohlrabi and weeds here. These are our purple kohlrabi, and they are doing absolutely fantastic.
Which we didn't plan on planting.
No, we didn't plan on planting this, but I must have gotten some old seed when I was planting, or when we were planting
the regular ones.
Yeah, because we transplanted these. And there's a lot of purples.
There's the giant ones.
And then we have the whites over here. So we have the regular size and then the giants. They're starting. They are. And there's a nice one. So it won't be long and we'll be harvesting these for program and market. And then We have 2 raised beds of leeks over here. They go all the way down. They were also transplanted. And then we have more kohlrabi and our kale, which is slowly coming. We just weeded that last week or the week before, Haley? But it'll come. We still have kale in the lettuce house anyhow. And more kohlrabi here. Haley's just like, why are the weeds so bad? We just weeded all this. These are our big onions, if you can see them. These are the variety candy, and they're doing pretty good. So we know where they are. Okay, Haley wants us to go look at this one.
They're so beautiful. Oh, look at this one.
Oh, beautiful. So we'll be harvesting some of these.
Look at this one.
Wow. And then over there, in between, it looks really super weedy, but in between the carrots are weeds. Oh, there's the odd weed in the carrot, but I'm not going through there. Oh, and we have beets there. We have stuff, it's hidden. It's like a treasure hunt. But the carrots are doing very well, and on camera you really can't tell. But they're going to be ready for harvest probably next week, week and a half. Wayne pulled one yesterday, and it was pretty good. So, what you doing, Hale? You're going to pull one? No, that was a smaller one, but
they're long?
They're long and straight. And yeah, so it won't be long. And over here beside number 1 down in the field, I forgot to show you our celery. We pulled all the straw off it because it was not helping. We thought we would put straw around it instead of dirt, but anyhow, it is coming. It's doing better now. It's hard to see because there's weeds all around. We're the weed farm. Okay, where are we off to now?
Blueberries.
Blueberries. Okay, now we are at the top patch of our blueberries. Like I said, we have 2 acres of these. These are high bush blueberries. So, Haley, just go stand over there by that one. I'm going to just give them an idea of how tall these plants get.
6'7".
You're 6'7". No. How tall are you?
I'm about 5'5".
5? Oh, 5'3"? You're that short?
Yeah.
You're just a little wee thing. So for picking berries, we pick open for pick your own in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and we will have our pickers here picking for us as well. And we have a lot of students that come out. They love to come and pick and make a little bit of extra money.
These are some of the bigger ones we have.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
But you can see.
Oh.
And well, oh, he's right.
He is right.
Usually they're still like green and white under there, so when you think they're ripe, they're not quite.
That one's really ripe. Oh, maybe not. They're starting anyhow, yeah. But you can see each bush is loaded. We didn't get to pruning like we wanted to. They're working on them right now. We're just getting them kind of neatened up a bit for our pickers and our pick your owners to come in and pick, but these go all the way down and then they go all the way across the highway there and right down to the highway. You can't even see the bushes from here. So people really enjoy it. We have a lot of families come out, and like I said, students that are on summer break come out and make a little bit of money for themselves. Yeah, and they really have a good time. The majority of the kids that come out all know each other. Yeah, so it's great. Now we're off to wash our beets and radish, and we'll show you what they look like.
So here are our radishes. Patty's just giving them a rinse.
Look at how beautiful they are.
They're so nice.
So, and our handy dandy wash station, if you want to go watch that video.
We built ourselves. And once these are done, we'll do the beets. And now we're doing the beets. So we just give them a quick rinse off with the hose to get most of the dirt off.
Yeah, these are a little harder because the radish it just comes off so easy. The dirt really sticks to the roots of these.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of pull. You don't have to be perfect, but we don't want to bring dirty beets to the market when they're this size and with the cute greens on, because people like to see them a little bit clean. Makes your table a little nicer looking, makes your produce a little nicer looking.
Okay, we are in number 3. So the front of it has our peppers, and they are starting to ripen. There's some nice purple ones. So we're gonna pick them for program. The green ones that are all down along there, we're gonna leave them to turn red. And we have white and orange that are coming, but they're not as nice as the other ones. Then in here we have our cucumbers, which are still producing lots and lots and lots. So yesterday I came in and dropped them, so you can see they're all back at the wires where we hang them from, and the stalks are laying on the ground. So we'll show a separate video of how we actually do that. And we have some big guys down this row. There's a giant one. There's a giant one. And here's lots of giants. So these are all the slicers. They are doing fantastic. So that is it for in number 3. Now outside of number 3 we have our zucchini beds. So these are the yellow ones that we and Ethan planted quite a while after the green ones, and they've already caught up and we've been harvesting. Look at the size of that. They are doing beautiful. So the trick to good zucchini are raised beds, and these ones, like, they're massive. We've been picking these for program, and they have like grown within the last couple days so much. So these are the zucchinis. Now we're going into number 4. So in 4 we have our heirloom tomatoes, and they are starting to ripen. This is the ox heart. We have all Brandywines and Siemens, yellow boys, and these are, we're not sure what these ones are, but they are ginormous. Like, those are big. Those aren't even the cat face ones, but these are on the plants that had the cat face, so they might be Brandywine. Here's our cat face one, and it's not the prettiest looking, but we like it because it's big. So these are gonna have to be probably start getting dropped as well because they're getting big. Those are the Dominicans. That side we have our cobras. As you can see, the pruning really helped them. They've got lots of fruit. They're gonna start ripening hopefully soon. This is our beet bed that we've been picking out of from the start. The weeds have kind of taken over, but we're still getting a good production from it, so that's fine. These are our second planting of onions for the middle bed. We've already picked this bed clean, and you can see these are older plantings, so they're going to be ready shortly. And over here is a planting before that on this far side, and then in the middle we have all the ones. They're super big and weedy, but we still pick them because clean them up a bit and they're fine. So that's pretty much all for number 4. And oh, there's a bottom end rot tomato, what it looks like, so we will have to get that under control. And something really cool that the guys have just built is a new chicken coop for all our laying hens, which is under the drive shed, so they've got lots of space to run around and stuff. In the back part we had them in, it was always just like when it rained would be muddy, and that's not very nice for chickens. So they have this nice dry spot. They can come here in the sun, they can go back in the shade, and they can go up into their little coop. So they're loving it, and it's easier to come and watch them. Hi, girls. Hi. So yeah, those are the chickens. Patty just ran to town to do some errands, so I'm taking over filming till she gets back, and then we're gonna harvest some onions.
And Haley has just finished washing the onions and putting them into buckets with a little bit of water, and they'll be good for market tomorrow. Just don't like completely cover them with water, just just on the whites so the roots get something to drink. And she's got another bucket over in the side-by-side. And what are we off to do now? Zucchini and cucumbers. Okay, see us down there.
Okay, so we're harvesting zucchini.
They're massive.
They're huge.
So when you harvest zucchini, some of you may do this, but when you grab it and twist it, sometimes it takes this little stem off and exposes the flesh underneath. You don't want to do that because the zucchini won't last as long. So what I do is I take a sharp knife and I just carefully do this because you don't want to hit the one beside it either, and just cut it off like that so that you have some of the stem there. And that's what we do.
And be careful with your like nails and objects because they do mark easily.
So easy. Even dropping them into that bin would mark them up. But see, and they're so like, that is super easy to cut. My little Johnny Seeds knife. I don't even know where that came from, but well, obviously Johnny Seeds, but.
So these are going to market tomorrow.
See how many we get. We have a lot.
We have a ton.
We do.
And any that are going yellow, like this one, you can pick them off because they're not going to produce into a nice big green one. So we just go around and check for anything like that and pick those right off. And anything that's not too rotten, we like to give to the chickens for treats because they eat anything. So all of our lettuce scraps, we bring and give to them, so they eat very well.
Something else I want to mention about zucchini. First of all, you cut it with a knife. Second of all, never store zucchini in a fridge. Store them at room temperature. Like, it can be cooler, but not cold because they go really limp. Same as cucumbers. So there's just another little tip. All right, I got 41 is all I decided to harvest. I just harvested the biggest of them all, including the yellows. Now the yellows were planted later, so they're just starting to come on now. And then you can see, just do this. There are a bunch of little ones still on the plants, which by tomorrow, it is absolutely amazing how quickly these things grow. So by tomorrow, they'll be quite a bit bigger, and then by Thursday for program, we will harvest them. And that's a yellow one I'm picking off, throwing it out. We'll harvest them and give them to our CSA customers. So let me show you. This one is actually going to be a little bit too big, so I think I'm going to cut him off too. But with think that a big zucchini is way too much, they can use it in a stir fry just as you do the small ones, or they can grate it and put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it for zucchini loaf or whatever later on. So really there's nothing to it. So they we know everybody, well, we know a lot of people love zucchini. So that's going to be our first bringing to market. We've been giving it to CSA for the last couple of weeks, but they've only been getting small ones. But now they're really starting to take off. And then our zucchini down in the field will probably be ready for CSA day 2. So we're going to go in and check Haley in the cucumber house, greenhouse number 3, and see how many cukes she's getting. All right, so she's just on to slicers, and she's getting quite a few.
Yeah.
Wow, and we're going to pick, right now we're going to pick the largest of the picklers because they're getting a little bit too big. And then we'll come back later on this afternoon and pick off all the smalls. So, wow. These are picklers. Oh, and some straight 8s.
Yeah.
But look at the size. That's a pickler. That's insane. But still good. Still fresh. All right. We'll be right back. All right. So, like I said, we only picked the biggest, and we've got... Did you count all these?
No.
How come?
Because I count them when we get up there.
Yeah, there's lots. I would say there's probably 70 of them. And we'll probably get that again this afternoon. And then we have 2 of those containers These are the best things, and they stack and lock. Full of the biggest cucumbers. So, I mean, something like that will be way too big this afternoon, which some people like them that size. And then we'll come back and pick the rest of the cukes off that are going to be ready for smaller picklers. Like, there's lots. We have tons of cukes left. So we'll probably, this afternoon, we'll probably get at least 4 of these bins full of the smaller cukes. Like, look at the size of those slicers. Oh, you're happy. Look at this one. Yeah, so these are the straight 8s, which aren't my favorite, but people like them. This is a Corinto, which are my favorite. I love the Corintos. They're not as seedy as the straight 8s. Which one do you like best?
I like them all.
Yeah, cucumber monster. Yeah, perfect. So it is now lunchtime. You okay with that? I'll grab this one. So it's now lunchtime, and oh, I'm sure Haley already showed you we're going to be giving peppers to CSA this week too. So, you ready for lunch? All right. And another thing I want to show you is our little orchard that we have here. First of all, we have our grapes. I think there's around 30 grape plants, 30 or more grape plants in this bed. They're all starting to produce. Let me just get underneath here. We are learning how to trellis these. We have done nothing, so please don't judge us. We're going to do this later on when we have a little bit more time. But there are the grapes growing. These are all Concord grapes, and they're doing very well. These are probably about, I don't know, 3 years old now, and we've never done anything with them. We just let them go, but we are going to learn from the pros on YouTube how to do this. So if any of you have any tips or tricks, please let us know. And so we have here, we have cherry trees. There were cherries on some of them, and I can't see them right now. I'm kind of trying to block the wind here because it's going to get super windy. This tree is going to be loaded. The apples are coming nicely. This is a yellow transparent. It's either a Lodi or a Lobo apple. These are all for zone, I believe these are zone 3. 3 or 4. They do well here. And then we have the kind of the weeping looking trees, which are Pembino plum. And they produce beautiful plums. There's another one over there. So you can see kind of it's got a little bit of a weeping habit. And then we have different varieties of cherry trees. This one obviously needs to be pruned. The bears got at that one. That one's dead. And then it ripped the top off of, I believe, one of these over here. I think it was that one. Or maybe it was this one. Anyhow, the bears love the apples. And then we have over here, these are probably a Mac. I think they are Macs. And this one's going to be loaded to Max. And then, oh, Shane. And then these are the Pembino as well, but they were just starting and now I can't find them. Anyhow, that's our little orchard. Bye guys. Bye.